You have to come and see Marshall, the resident turtle. He's huge. He's kind of shy right now, kind of cowering into the corner, but you have to come and check him out. So Liz, tell me all about the Horicon Marsh.
Well, Horicon Marsh is this amazing resource that we have located in Dodge County. It is the largest freshwater cattail marsh in the contiguous United States. It's about 33,000 acres, and it's a little bit hard for people to visualize how big that is, but imagine that about a NFL football field is 1 acre. So 33,000 football fields put together of this amazing wetland that we again have right here in our own backyards in Wisconsin. And it's home to over 300 species of birds and a variety of recreational opportunities. There's really something for everybody here at Horicon Marsh.
I was gonna say, it's a beautiful site and it's just vast as you look out over it. If I were to be a visitor, what can I all do here? I know there's so many things to do.
Sure, and we could probably sit here and talk about that for days, obviously, but one of the big things that people come out for is obviously birds. Horicon Marsh is a premier and well-known birding marsh, and when you're out here looking for birds, you're obviously going to see other wildlife as well. And in order to get the best views of birds, you can go on any of our hiking trails. Here from our education center, we have about 5 miles of hiking trails. There's another 6 miles up at the northwest corner, plus a few other areas that you can hike as well. So there are certainly many areas, even though it is a wetland, that you can get on some dry land and do some walking and hiking, depending on how long you'd like to go.
I love it. And as far as for what a great way to get outdoors and see the wildlife. So you said you had, over 5 miles of trails that one can use?
Yep, just at our education center that we have here, over 5 miles of trails that you can get out and about. And those trails go through a variety of habitats. You can see wetlands, forests, and prairies. So you're getting a full gamut of all the different habitats and all the different species of wildlife that could be in there as well.
Nice. And it's open year-round, right?
Yes, correct. You can come out and hike and recreate any time of the year. Obviously, different rules and restrictions depending on the time of year that you're here, but absolutely, you can get out and cross-country ski and snowshoe in the winter and get out the hiking boots for the spring, summer, and fall.
Love it, love it. So tell me a little bit about the history of the Horicon Marsh. I know it has a wild history.
Yes, wild and rich, most definitely. So Horicon Marsh was formed and created by the glaciers many years ago. From there, we had many indigenous and Native American cultures that were here using the resources from the food and the plant life that was at Horicon Marsh. From there, we had our European settlers that came in. We had some changes that happened at that point in time. A dam was put in and the marsh was turned into a lake for a period of time. That dam was taken out for a variety of reasons and the marsh went back to marsh, or I should say the lake went back to marsh. At that point, we had this huge profusion of wildlife, so ducks and everything really came back. But this was an era in the 1850s, early 1900s, where we didn't have any limits on our hunting regulations, trapping regulations, and so unfortunately, much of the wildlife was really hunted to pretty much depletion on the marsh. And at that point, local settlers and folks in the area decided they were going to ditch and drain the marsh for agricultural purposes, which was happening in wetlands across the country. And so for a period of time, the marsh was attempted to be farmed, and then we had peat fires break out. So it was a true wasteland by the time all of this was done. Sure. Luckily, we had some local conservationists, hunters, trappers, fishers that put together this group, the Restore Horicon Marsh campaign, and we were able to start preserving and conserving this amazing resource, and it turned out it was bought up by the state of Wisconsin, and so now the DNR owns some of it, but then the northern 2/3 of the marsh is owned by the National Wildlife Refuge, so Fish and Wildlife Service, the federal government, and there's a lot of really interesting history that goes back to it. So when you look at Horicon Marsh, it went through a lot of changes, and now it's one of the best wetlands in the world, which is pretty amazing.
I love it, and it's located just north of Dodge County in the area, and it's between Dodge and Fond du Lac counties.
Correct.
I do believe.
Yep, there's a little bit in Fond du Lac County.
Gotcha. All right, very good. So then in essence, as far as you have a wonderful, beautiful visitor center here. Tell me what all services that you provide here.
Sure. So we're kind of, one of the gateways to Horicon Marsh. There's a lot of opportunities to get out and about, but we love to have people stop here, talk to our staff, talk to our amazing Friends Group volunteers, maybe even volunteer themselves if they're interested, get a map, figure out what they're going to be doing, and then this is the gateway to the trail system that we have here. The other thing that we have at our education center is kind of a secret gem in the basement. We have our Explorium, which is all hands-on exhibits that go through the entire history of the marsh that I just explained. and there's some really fun interactives, including an airboat simulator. So if you want an airboat ride on the marsh, that is your only opportunity to do that, is to go down into the Explorium. So I highly recommend it.
I love it. All in Dodge County.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. So what do you think as far as hours here at the museum here? What would you say that would be?
So the Horicon Marsh Education and Visitor Center, we're located right in between Horicon and Mayville on Highway 28. Our hours are typically 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekdays and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekends. We do have some minimal or lessened winter hours, obviously, but that's just for the facility. As far as getting out and about on the trails, essentially just daylight hours is probably your best, and early morning and right before sunset are your best times for birds if you're a birder.
Very cool, gosh. Something for everybody.
Literally, yes.
Love it.
Okay, it is all turned on. So here's our Airboat Simulator. It's pretty sweet.
It's awesome.
Kind of a fan favorite for everybody. Hello. I always tell my 7-year-old, make sure not to crash the airboat.
Okay, this is really cool. You could actually do an airboat simulator here. I am loving it. So let's kind of get my bearings here.
There we go. So you're going up the east branch of the Rock River, which goes through Horicon Marsh. Horicon Marsh is essentially the headwaters of the Rock River.
Oh, stay out of the weeds, Kris. I never did anything like this before. This is so cool that I can do this here. Oh, I'm going sideways.
Oh boy.
All right, here we go.
There we go, straighten ourselves out.
And this is actually the marsh itself that we're going through.
Yes, correct. We went out there on our real airboat. We shot all the footage that was needed, and we're able to give people a real-time experience of summer on Horicon Marsh from an airboat.
And airboats, you can't go out there with an airboat on the marsh today, correct?
Correct. They're quite loud, and so they can be a disturbance to wildlife. And it makes you smile. You never know what you're going to see on the marsh.
I know, I love it. How fun is this? Wonderful. Well, Liz, thank you for an amazing experience. I've never did anything like this before, so this is pretty exciting. And you can come here to the Visitor Center and check it out yourself.
Absolutely. We hope you join us.
We are here today talking with Brenda Brouette from Coldwell Banker. Thank you so much, Brenda, for being on.
Thank you for having me.
So earlier today, we were at the Horicon Marsh Center, and I want to talk about real estate, because that's the hot topic these days, real estate.
Very hot topic. Yes.
So with that, right in between Horicon Marsh is Horicon itself and also Mayville. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in the market today, real estate.
So Mayville and Horicon are very similar in their marketing. Both are extremely in high demand.
Desirable places to live, would you
Yes,
say?
absolutely. And I mean, we have so many things to offer in both areas. We have a lot of industry, which brings a lot of buyers to this area to live in the communities they're working in. We also get a lot of people that aren't afraid to travel far anymore, just to get out of the city life and get into a rural area.
Gotcha. I did some checking. You know, an average rents for in this area for 2-bedroom, you're looking right around $815. If it's a 3-bedroom for rents, you're probably taking a look at right around $1,100. And again, that's going to vary depending upon what area you're looking at and also the time of year, of course. And as rents increase throughout the years, it may increase as well too. So I also found out that about right around this area, about 64% of the people actually own their homes, and the rest do rent their homes.
Correct.
So as far as for sales prices, they have increased over the last couple years.
They have, and I did some numbers recently, which was even interesting and surprising to me. I have found that, say in Mayville, you know, housing prices in the last year, the average house sale in Mayville is about $200,000, give or take. 5 years ago, in 2016, when I did an average on that, it was almost half that much.
Wow. So in that short amount of time, the price has doubled.
They have doubled, yes, and that's really for both communities.
Communities.
Yes, and you know, days on the market in both areas, you know, they have changed substantially in the last probably 5 years.
Now you take a look at as far as for what is it, list to contract price and then contract to sales, is that, or contract to closing, right?
We do list to contract price and then list to closing days on the market.
Okay. What would you say as far as for the specifics of that? That would be, if you have any idea what that may be?
So Horicon overall, it's about 48 days from list to close. And in Mayville, the average is about 43 days from list to close.
Close and everything.
So I mean, it's taken a lender, you know, with the appraisal and everything that goes into place there. We typically like to plan for about 6 weeks, but they're actually happening quicker than that.
Wow. So if you put it on the market, plan to move, right?
Exactly. Yes, and have a place to go if you're selling, because we will make you homeless.
Homeless. Where am I going? Help me out here. So as far as some of the top industries in the area where people work at, and I know we talked about before, whatever, a lot of people like to live locally of where they work at. You know, some of the different places would be what, John Deere, Mayville Engineering.
Metalcraft of Mayville.
Mayville.
Mayville Engineering. There's Tab products, all kinds of.
We can go on and on
yes.
all day. And also, too, there's a bunch of construction companies as well, too, as far as where they're housed at, and also that do work around the area as well, too.
Correct. Correct.
So when we take a look at this, you know, this is a great community to be in. And also, as well, too, if you wanted to be out in the country, you're not far away as far as from being out in the rolling hills of the beautiful Dodge County as well, too. As far as, would you say the real estate in town is similar to out of town? What are your thoughts on that?
I have found that the properties out of town with an acre or more tend to be the most desirable. People just want to be out in the country and away from the busy life. I've also noticed more so in Mayville recently a lot of new construction going. You know, a couple years ago you couldn't barely give lots away and new construction was unheard of, and now, I mean, they're bought before they're ever even started.
Everybody wants to do. I don't
Yes.
blame them. It's kind of fun. So Brenda, thank you so much for being on today. You gave us a wealth of information as far as for the local real estate market. So again, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
So meeting, MEATING. I love how you spell that. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we purchased this, the meeting place at the Mayville Golf Course back in December of 2020. So it's our group called Leroy Meats. We own 2 different meat markets. It's Steve Christian, my father, and myself. We decided to purchase the Mayville Golf Course. And when we purchased it, there really wasn't a restaurant here. We had to do a little more than $1 million in renovations to get this thing going with the golf course and the restaurant. So a lot of time, effort, and money put into it. And our biggest thing was just to make this a place for people in the community to go to. What we ended up really wanted to focus on is getting a supper club up here and just a fun family atmosphere.
Love it. Tell me about your menu. I love your burgers, by the way, and your fish fries. Awesome.
Yes. So we offer a couple different kinds of burgers. We offer our prime rib burger, which if you've never had it, we serve it both at Horicon and Fox Lake at our stores. So that is one offer, and then we offer our special blend, which is made every day, fresh and delivered here, never frozen burger, and that's a blend of chuck, sirloin, and brisket. So, and then you mentioned about the Friday night fish fry.
Yes.
Who wouldn't love to have fish on a Friday in Wisconsin, right? And
love it. What a great location, right on the corner, on the edge. Would you say what, Mayville here? Beautiful golf course. How many holes do you have here?
we have 18 holes. It's par 71. We have 5 par 3s and 3 on the back. So it's yeah, if you've never played it, it's pretty cool to see everything on the river, and it's a great fall course with over 600 trees on it.
I'm here with Val Christian, and you are event coordinator at the meeting place inside of Mayville Golf Course. So tell me about this venue. It is all redone. It is very, very neat.
Thank you. Yes, it's beautiful. We put a lot of time and effort into this venue, making the way that it is right now. It's very different than what it was before. We painted it all, new carpet, new tables, new chairs. The beams are new, chandeliers, lighting, everything is new, and we spent some time working on getting it to the right point where we wanted it to be.
Love it. As far as if you want to have meetings here, you can do small meetings and larger events too, right?
Yes, absolutely. We can host up to 220 people for weddings. Sit down, that is, dinner, buffet, plated, family style, so a couple options for the menu. Also, we do have a separate room where you can hold up to 65 people there, and you can have things as far as business meetings or business parties, so different types of events there as well.
Nice. And you also are opening it up to holiday events as well too, correct?
Yes, we had a bunch of Christmas parties, holiday parties, retirement parties, definitely anniversaries, birthdays, just many different options here.
One of the big things you guys do as far as for banquets that you're able to offer was just Ducks Unlimited or just some of the different associations that you help out with, correct? I love the wide variety of events that you're able to offer. Tell me a little bit about the wine pairings that you guys started doing.
Yeah, that's been an amazing feature that we've been doing here. We have about 5 courses. They have different wines that pair with different meals, and our chef Josh is amazing at putting his own critique on the actual meals themselves. They're very high standards, and we've been getting great feedback from that. So then we took that on, and we're doing some beer tastings and pairings with also some courses and some liquor. We do a bourbon pairing. Other events that we've had up here, kind of tying off of that, is board and brush events, or we have some other things too that we have scheduled coming up as well. So
Wonderful. And how far in advance are you booking right now if you wanted to book a party?
yeah, so right now our Saturdays are completely booked for 2022, which is amazing. So we are booking into 2023 for weddings for sure, and then other venues, our other events, we are booking different days of the week throughout the year.
So if anybody is interested, in essence, they would talk to you as far as for seeing what dates available as well.
Yeah, they can check us out online. We have a live online website where there's a calendar that we put all of our events on there. So if they're thinking of a date, they can go right on there and see if the date's available before they even call us.
Love it, love it. Well, Val, thank you so much for being on today. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here with Josh. He is the head chef at the meeting place, which is inside of Mayville Golf Course. Thanks so much for being on today.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice.
you. So tell me about your menu.
The menu is very extensive. It's large.
And it's awesome.
I've worked really hard on it with my team to get it wrote.
You have some of the best burgers in the area. Tell me about your burgers.
That is all Scott Hurst. He blended that burger for us, and I think we tried 5 or 6 different blends before we actually chose what we chose. And I feel he really knocked it out of the park. Everybody loves it. I've had people from all over the state say it's the best burger they've ever had in their life.
It really is. It's awesome. You have to try it. Tell me about these awesome cheese curds.
The cheese curds are great. Lightly breaded, ranch dipping sauce. They're so cheesy. I mean, it's almost eating like a fresh cheese curd.
Love it. And as far as for all your meat, the steaks and everything, those are all fresh,
But
right?
all fresh cut from the locker. I pick them up on my way to work every morning.
Okay, how cool is that?
That's awesome. As being a chef, being able to pick up, like people talk about going to fresh produce markets and picking up fresh produce every day. It's a bigger gem that I get to go and hand pick my steaks every morning.
That's huge, especially in this area, and because we all love a great cut of meat.
Oh, yes.
I know I do.
Oh, definitely. And the steaks that I get from them are second to none. They're very good.
I love the meat market and everything that it has to offer, so this is perfect. And as far as, tell me about your pizza.
Oh, the pizzas are fantastic. The crust is nice, thin cracker, oiled crust. Different than what you would get from, say, Leroy Meats frozen pizzas.
Okay.
100% different. Different sauce, different crust. I do use Leroy Meats pizza sausage, of course. We use the same cheese because it is a great cheese. But all our toppings are fresh, never frozen. The pizzas are never frozen, all handmade.
Love it. Tell me, what is your favorite part of the menu, or what do you like the best?
I love making my prime rib twice a week, Thursdays and Saturdays. We had our Ducks Unlimited banquet 2 weeks ago where I had to cut 181 prime rib cuts. Wow. And it was the most prime rib as a chef I've ever done at one time. And everybody enjoyed it. Everybody loves the prime rib up here.
Love it. And as far as other specials that you have, Friday fish fries?
Yep, we do our Friday fish fry. Perch, walleye, cod, poor man's lobster, hand-breaded shrimp. Our bacon jam stuffed salmon is available every day. And that bacon jam I make, it took me a while to perfect it. It takes me 8 hours to make a batch of bacon jam. It is slow cooked all day long and then blended.
That sounds divine.
It's so good.
So not only you're the chef as far as for the restaurant itself, if there is people that rent out the venue, you're the chef for that. It's
Correct. Yep. Weddings, golf outings, everything. If there's an event here, of course, Leroy Meats does have a catering event, but anything that comes off of the Maple Golf Course or the meeting place is cooked here on premise and from our kitchen.
Well, you are a busy man.
I'm very, very busy.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So many things the meeting place inside of the Maple Golf Course has to offer. From great food, great venues to host your parties, weddings, retirement parties, holiday parties, and also check out their specials that they have as far as for board parties, the beer tasting, the wine tasting, and the whiskey tasting. So much to offer. And again, you can't forget as far as on the golf course itself. So pretty soon we'll be able to hit a couple of rounds. And again, I hope to see you out here.